one of my colleagues right here from Riga, head of the integrations team. He's going to talk about the whole process of maybe developing new integrations, how it looks kind of under the hood, how we make decisions on which integrations to create, and how the whole team kind of operates. Since it's relatively a new unit within Zabbix, the integrations team, I think it will be quite interesting for you to learn more about it. So let's welcome on the stage a colleague from Riga. We've spent this whole day in the office together with him and a bunch of other colleagues. So let's welcome him on the stage, Aleksandrs Larionovs. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Arthur, for the great introduction. I'll be talking about integrations. So, what integrations are in context of Zabbix? There are two distinct types of the integrations. The first one being out-of-the-box templates. These are the services you want to monitor, like databases, maybe other applications, servers, stuff like that. The second distinct type of the integration for Zabbix are webhooks. This is the functionality introduced with Zabbix 4.4 and gives you an ability to easily integrate with third-party services for alerting, notification, messengers, and just gives you a better working experience with Zabbix. So let's look how it was before. So you'd go and install Zabbix, and I would take 20 to 120 minutes if you follow the guide. Or if you like to use our cloud images, you could install Zabbix in just a few clicks. Then you would proceed and search for the integration that you need. Go to Google, maybe look at Zabbix, sharezabbix.com. If you don't find anything there, you'd ask the community, and finally, there's an option, you would do it yourself. Then comes the hard part. You need to validate that. Convince yourself that the integration that you found and installed is working as expected, and you can trust it. So you go for a long and rigorous testing, and finally, after the testing is complete, you have to convince others. Convince your manager, convince the other people in monitoring department that this is the integration that you need. And finally, something bad happens, you don't have any support. So it makes all the monitoring complicated. But how it is now? The same way you installed the Zabbix, but then you just go and proceed with selecting an official integration. There are over 100 integration, and they are growing month by month. And then you just proceed to use them. These are official integrations. They come pre-validated, and Zabbix support is available. But you might ask, what changed? As Zabbix grew, the integration team has been formed, a team of dedicated professionals, certified and working to deliver the best integration we can. Our mission is to set high monitoring standards and make monitoring accessible and easy, but we never forget about updates and support, so you can make sure that after a year you come and the integration is updated and fixed to resolve all outstanding issues. And how do we achieve that? By standardization. If you go to Google and search MySQL monitoring, you find around 100 different templates, 100 different approaches that were used for monitoring. And then when you try to compare them, it's a mess. So we came up with template guidelines. Template guidelines feature naming conventions. Multiple templates now use the single approach, so it's really easy to go and compare how and what is monitored in the template. We also include best practices, which really simplify your decision making. So no need to overthink some particular things when developing the integration. Just, follow the guide and that's it. And it all serves to be as a practical and ethical framework for your integrations. This results in responsibility and accountability that others can easily use and understand what's happening in the integrations. So how does the team work? We always start with prioritization, trying to understand if there are any outstanding issues or if we need to develop a new integration. So we try to focus on essential services, community requests, and improvement requests. When we proceed to the development, a first step is always the research. Then we proceed talking to the experts, them being from the companies or being from the community, and develop community focus groups to make sure that the integration is covering your requests and needs. And then finally, all the integrations come with hardware prepackaged. We work really hard to make sure the integration will satisfy you as a user. And then at the final step, we conduct three-phase validation. We do an internal review, then we ask Zabbix support team to validate the integration and tell us how does the integration apply to our existing customers. And finally, we're always asking for community help. Community review serves an important step in the validation phase. So by this, I wanted to give a big thank you to Zabbix community. Without you, it wouldn't be possible to make such great integrations. You guide us and tell us what is required. You come and serve us with your needs, requests, and assist us with every step of the process, including validation, testing, and new ideas. Without you, it would not be possible to continue the development. And now let's just quickly go and see what has been accomplished since the inception of the team. Out of the box templates, there are 40 plus new templates for all of the core databases such as MySQL, Oracle, or Postgres. Applications such as Docker, Apache, PHP, FPM, Ceph, or Nginx can be monitored out of the box as well. And then there are other templates such as virtualization, networking equipment, IPMI templates, and telephony. So that's a huge list. And that's not all. Webhook integrations. There are 20 plus new webhooks for on-call systems, so your engineers are always notified when something happens and needs their intervention. ITSM systems, ticketing, make sure that the responsible person is informed and the collaboration can start. Or if you're a fan of messengers, we've got you covered as well. Popular messages such as Slack, Telegram, Microsoft Teams, or Discord, you can get notified there. And more integrations coming soon. There will be an integration with Aeronet Cloud, IoT, and Morningstar Solar controllers. But more about that you can hear later in the day when the respective mother companies will present what has been done and how Zabbix simplifies monitoring with their systems. But we still continue working on Apache Cassandra, ActiveMQ, Kafka, Hadoop, Zookeeper, and HashiCorp Vault. But you might ask yourself a question, where to find those latest integrations? Well, the good news is if you install a new Zabbix installation, it being 5.0 or 5.2, they come pre-packaged, pre-installed, and ready to use. But if you need to find any integration, you can always go to zabbix.com/integrations, or if you're a fan of using open source code, you can go to gitzabbix.com and find them in the templates folder. But what if an integration doesn't exist yet? Tough decision. Like, there have always been two options. The first one being create a Zabbix Next ticket at support.zabbix.com, ask your fellow friends to vote, and if there's community interest, we'll do our best to include it to our roadmap and implement it. The second option, contact sales at zabbix.com. Our friendly folks will be happy to accommodate any request for your integration creation service. And now there's an option number 3. You can join our contributors program. Contributors program, what is it, you might ask? Well, it's a new program launched in 2020, which gives the community an ability to contribute to Zabbix Agent 2 plugins and webhooks. In addition to that, it allows to improve your product with an official Zabbix integration that will come to new Zabbix users out of the box. Or if you're a community expert and you know how to develop great integration, just to share your expertise. So 2020 notable contributors: PostgreSQL plugin and template by Postgres Pro Company, 2 webhooks, iAlert and Signal 4, developed by the respective mother companies, and Telegram webhook developed by our community member, Ilya Ableev. So if you're interested in contributing, read our development guidelines, get in touch to contribution@zabbix.com, sign the contributors agreement, and let's contribute. To recap all of what I've said, if we compare community integrations and official integrations, we can see that both of these types of integrations are free and have a large selection of integration. But what comes extra with the official integration is Zabbix integration team expertise, that the integrations come pre-validated, they are well maintained, and support is available. And bonus, all of the integrations that are official, they come with large README where you can find all the information about the integration, starting from how the data is collected, what kind of metrics is used, how to set it up. So basically, should answer all of your outstanding questions about the integration. And finally, to remind you, if you want to report an issue with the integration, use a public Jira bug tracker, support@zabbix.com. Or if you're just interested in discussing, you can always use our public Zabbix forum, zabbix.com/forum, or use the Telegram channel for the international community. You're always welcome there. Your ideas are welcome, and we'll be happy to discuss. So thank you for your attention, and see you next time.
Questions for him, both from myself and from our community. So are you ready to answer some questions on behalf of the whole integrations team?
Sure.
All right, so first off, speaking of integrations team, so we have a question. What kind of skill set should a potential employee, maybe someone that wants to be a part of the integrations team, so what kind of skill set they should possess?
Well, an integration engineer should be passionate about learning something new on a day-to-day basis. Secondly, there are different types of integrations, so different types of skills are required. Some of our integration engineers are specialized in webhooks, some in network equipment, some are developing plugins. So it's a little bit of mishmash of everything to make the team good as a whole. So, but most important is to be interested in learning something new.
So sounds like a very interesting, dynamic environment where you can learn a lot of new things, a lot of new technologies and approaches, and how to kind of mix and integrate them into Zabbix.
Yeah,
So,
every day is a challenge for us.
So I guess if we have an inquisitive mind that's looking to join the integrations team, they would be very welcome to maybe send in their resume so you can take a look at it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Next up, so how long on average does it take to develop an integration? Or maybe there is no average, maybe every time it's completely different.
Well, it's hard to tell. Sometimes, it's an easy integration with some web service and we can go and do integration just a couple of days. Sometimes it's really big integrations such as Oracle, where we need to do our research, understand the community needs, do some Q&A session with the supports, organize focus groups, and just dig deep, really deep. And the amount of time varies. Like it can take a month to produce something really reasonable, and then we can go over one iteration of reviews and fixing of the problems, so the community will only see it after a month and a half, but this will something be as polished as we can do.
So going from a couple of days to over a month. So that's kind of a large, amplitude over here, but it makes sense, of course. Yeah. Next up, what about cloud monitoring integration? Any new cloud monitoring integrations or something like that we should look forward to?
Well, this is something we're really actively researching, but there are some, improvements that we want to have in Zabbix before we'll proceed to making an official integration. Surely, no one from the community wants to see an integration that is lacking in features and is just generally really hard to understand and use. So. It's a continuous process, and as you may heard in previous talks, some of the steps for improving and making us closer for the cloud monitoring have been made, and we're looking forward to have even more development done for the 5.0, 5.4, and 6.0. So as soon as we're able to do the good integration, we'll get right to it and make all the community happy.
And one last question before I let you go. So you've probably mentioned this in the presentation, but just to kind of, nail the point home. If, someone wants to contact you directly or your team members and ask you, hey, when is Y or X integration coming out? Is it coming out? What would be, the best channel? Social networks, Zabbix forum, something else?
Well, I'd say we're available at Telegram channel. You can ping me directly. My username is Alex there, or you can just use forums to communicate. If you want to suggest an improvement or want to discuss, there's a specific thread for each integration we develop, so you can post there. Or if you need a new integration, just create a Zabbix Next ticket. If there's some, activity, community involvement, that's something we see and something we discuss internally.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think we've cleared up a lot of points over here. Thank you, and we will be looking out for new integrations, so you're not off the hook ever, pretty much. We'll just have to keep delivering them to us, and we will have to keep consuming them. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your time, and everybody have a positive Friday.
Thanks.